Hi, I'm Jamie, and from the last Kitchener video, we had a very good question, and that would be, how do you finish the Kitchener? So I made this tube. I have a 22 needle Centro, and I used really fat yarn so that you guys could see it, plus you wouldn't have to watch paint dry while I Kitchener this all the way closed. So what we're going to do is we're going to Kitchener this tube of knitting. Okay, we're going to go, the yarn is starting here. We're going to go up out of that one, up out of the work, and up out of the one across the street, this one right here. Okay, then we're going to go back down into that first stitch. Now, I am also doing this right-handed for our right-handed friends. Okay, so up, up, down, that gets you started. Oops, I just switched to my left hand by accident. All right, go back to the right hand. Now, that was stitch number 1 over there. So what we're going to do is go back across the street, and we're going to go down into the old stitch, the one that we've already put one through. Then we're going to go up out of its next door neighbor. Okay. Trying to do it slow and steady. All right, now I'm going to flip it back over. If you're right-handed, you can do it the other direction. Okay, we're going to go down into this first stitch and up into the next door neighbor. Cross the street. Down into the old, up into the new. Now, as I'm going across, it's very easy to see that that is a knit stitch forming. All right. Down into the old, up into the new, across the street, down and up. Down into the work, up out of the work. So down into the old stitch, up into the new stitch. Down into the old stitch, up into the new stitch. Now, you'll see my needle's big and fat. That's because I'm working with this worsted weight. My stitch slipped down and up. My needle is appropriately sized for the worsted weight yarn. This big needle would be way too big for sock yarn. We're going to down and up, across the street. Now, down and up. You try not to get the waste yarn in there. Down and up. And you can see the knit stitches forming. Look at that. Okay, now I've left it a little loose because this is my tension for the yarn. I've left it a little loose, so I would have to perfect that. I would have to pull them a little tighter. Down and up, down and up. Mostly what I want to show you is the ending of this, because we covered this down and up really well in the other Kitchener video, but we didn't cover going all the way across. Now, I want you to look and see how many stitches I have. I have 4 of them, but this one has to go down and up. Whoops. This one has to go down and up. Every stitch needs a down and an up. Okay. Now, I have to go down and up in this one, but then I have to go down and up into this one. Okay, so I'm leaving it really loose so you know what it's supposed to be like. Now, once I go down and up, if I pull this tight, then I'm not going to be able to see those 2 stitches that I have to finish off. Okay, so either I can stick my needle in there and blindly find them, and I can find them right here. Okay. But most of the time when you're knitting with sock yarn, you can't see those stitches. So I know that I still have one more stitch to make. Okay, So I'm going to put my yarn on the outside, and this is when I would unravel this yarn. Okay, I'm just going to pull it out. This is normally what I would ball up because it would be the perfect amount to end the next sock or another sock. Plus, it never fails. You need a color, just a little bit of color to end that sock. Okay, that's not what this video is about, me trying to get this yarn off of here. The video is about how to close that Kitchener. Okay, so you can see that we still have the down and up that needs to be made. Okay, it's right here and right here. All right, then I make it like so, and then normally this is the seam where the short row is, so I just skip the yarn up on that seam and then snip it, okay? Or you can put the needle back to the inside of the work, and you can hide the tail with the smile and frown method, where you follow the yarn. That's a different video, okay? Or you can also run the yarn up the leg of a stitch like so. And then your sock would be finished and Kitchener closed with no seams. Ta-da! That's how you do the Kitchener from start to finish. I'm Jamie Mayfield. Thanks for joining me.